Hey, what is up, guys? It's TPS Infinite here. I'm playing some League of Legends, playing Teemo and ARAM. I know, little Satan. Before I start the video off, be sure to, follow me on my social medias like my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, all that kind of stuff. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing. But yeah, this video is going to be about one of the craziest fights I ever witnessed. And this was like way back in middle school. This was like my 6th grade year. Just got into, just got out of elementary school. And, this was like, I think, probably a month to 2 months into school. And it's kind of like a dual story. I'm not going to go into the first half too much. I'm going to leave it for a later video. But I ended up staying late after school. Reason being is earlier that day, I was getting a drink from the water fountain, and I got punched because I was getting a drink, and the kid wanted to drink. A whole different situation. I'll tell that story in a later video. But to give you guys a background of what the school was like, there was 3 different houses, and this is how the school was set up. They had House A, House B, House C, and an elective house. All your core classes were in your house that you were assigned. Normally, families were in the same house, but my year, they switched it up, and they put families separate and things like that. My brothers were in House C, I was in House B. Now, to give you guys a little perspective, I was the only white kid in my class. Every single class, I was the only white kid, besides my electives. It was not the greatest area, and I was friends with everyone, and it's not like I'm a racist or anything like that. I don't want you guys to think that, because I know internet. But no, it wasn't like super hood, but it wasn't like the best school. The high school that you went to after that was a terrible school. It was an F school. It was really not a good place. But anyways, so this school wasn't the best. There was a lot of issues. We had armed police officers and stuff on the property all the time. The first day of school, there was a huge fight, literally within 2 seconds of getting out of my car. So it was a pretty interesting school. But So I stayed after school because I had to talk to like the principal and the dean of my house, because each house had their own dean. So I was in House B. Get done with that. I go to walk out, and I go to walk out the front door of the house building, and these 2 girls are arguing, and they're like right in front of the door. So I'm just like waiting. I think they see me, and I think they're gonna let me out, but no. One of them just swings on the other one, and at first I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fight. Cool, I'll watch a fight. All right, whatever. Lots of fights today. I got punched in the face. I'm watching 2 chicks go at it. Like, okay. This is where it turned bad. Like, this is probably the most graphic fight I've ever seen, and that shit scarred me for a long time. Like, I don't really get too squeamish when people fight. It's when blood and like things actually start like breaking and like shit gets really brutal that I start getting like, I don't like that stuff. But so these 2 girls start going at it, and next thing I know, they're grabbing each other's hair. They're literally clawing each other. Like there's already blood on their faces and shit. Like they're going at it, and one girl ends up taking the other girl and starts slamming her head against the building. And now these buildings are brick. Like, it's not like, these buildings are like wood panels or plastic panels and it's like whatever. Like, no, this shit was like brick, and it was like the rough kind of brick, like almost coquina. Like, if you don't know what coquina is, it's like a bunch of shells. You find it a lot in the South. I don't know if they have it too much up north, but it's basically they put a shitload of seashells in concrete, and it's what they used to build forts out of. So it's super sharp, super jagged. Well, this brick was kind of like that, like grated kind. Like it was basically sandpaper, like really concreted sandpaper. Let's put it that way. So this chick starts slamming the other girl's face in the like building. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm 6th grade, like pretty tiny. I was like 4'8" for the longest time. I was under like 120 pounds, I think. A super tiny kid. And I'm like, oh shit. So I start like calling for my dean. I'm like, yo, you might want to come out here. And she comes out, she sees it, she's like, oh my god, and she's like, fuck that, and she like walks back into her office, straight up just said fuck that, walked back into her office, called the, I think she called the cops. I'm pretty sure she was the one who called security or whatever. But anyways, These chicks are still going at it, and the girl who's getting her face smashed into the wall ends up falling to the ground, and the girl gets on top of her. Well, the girl on the ground jabs her thumb in this girl's eye, like literally fucking fingernail, and I'm talking like they have like Felicia nails, like, you know, the fucking 10-inch nails that you could just skin a pig alive kind of thing, like the fake nails. And like she jabbed her freaking thumb in that was my phone, sorry guys, in this girl's eye, like straight up just in the girl's eye, and just fucking pulls out. And next thing I know, this was the most disgusting, just graphic shit I've ever seen. And let me tell you something, if you ever watched a movie where someone's eye gets gouged out, it's not like the fucking movie. This shit was so nasty. There was so much blood. There was a fucking eyeball hanging out of this girl's face. And the girl who gets her eye ripped out, like, obviously she's screaming and she falls on the pavement. And the other girl's continuously hitting her. And this is where I thought shit was about to be over. Like, I was like, alright, there's no way that the girl with the eyeball that just got gouged out is getting back up. Like, she lost this fight, she's done. No, I was fucking wrong. This girl gets off the ground. Like, they both stand up somehow. I don't know how the fuck the fight is going on, because there's blood all over the wall. There's blood where they were laying, and now there's just blood, like, literally getting everywhere. And, it was a lot of blood. Like, I'm not talking like pools of blood. Like, let's be realistic. Like, there was blood stains a lot. Like, there was little tiny pools of blood. Have you ever seen a fight? Like, they can get pretty bloody. This fucking was bloody as shit. The girl who got her eye gouged out starts punching the other girl in the face, and then ends up getting her on the ground, like face down on the ground. Like, I don't know how it happened. I literally, at this point, I was like trying to look away, but I didn't know, you know, it's in front of me. It's kind of hard not to look. But the chick with the gouged out eyeball starts dragging this girl's face across the fucking sidewalk. Like, literally just dragging her by her hair, pressing down on her fucking face, dragging her. And for a good, I think, like 2 or 3 feet, drug this girl across the fucking sidewalk. Like, literally bloodstained and all, because her face was already fucked up. And it was disgusting. Like, they had to actually power wash the sidewalks the next day, and like, it was so gross. But anyways, so like 2 feet she gets this girl across the sidewalk. Next thing I see is a taser, the fucking taser come flying out, hits the first chick dragging the girl, she drops, the other girl tries to start getting on top of the tased girl. Well, they tased both of them. Shit was insane. It was the craziest fight I've ever seen in my life. Normally fights, like, I'm like, alright, cool, some entertainment, this should be funny as shit, whatever, it's a fight, oh well, deal with it. I've seen multiple fights. I've been in a good bit of fights, which I will tell you guys about another story. But this shit was the worst fight I've ever seen. It ended up going from just you know, it could have been a 10-day suspension, whatever. But these girls both got assault charges, and they ended up going to a reform school in the area. And I know they had to go to juvenile hall or some shit like that, or whatever it is. I've never been to juvie. But yeah, if you guys have any crazy fight stories, tell me in the comments. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, stay safe and stay chill, and try to keep out of trouble, man. Don't get in fights like that. Peace.